Some stories of domestic violence are so shocking they stop you in your tracks. This is one of them. On the morning of February 28, 2025, inside a small Waco, Texas apartment, an argument turned into a nightmare. 35-year-old Alexander Alton McDavid and his 67-year-old girlfriend had been living together for about a year, but the relationship was anything but stable. On that day, the couple was having an argument, and they verbally fought in the kitchen. Alexander became increasingly agitated with his girlfriend.
She was talking too much.
As the woman took a bowl of freshly heated soup out of the microwave, Alexander deliberately hit the plate and made the scalding hot liquid splash across her body. The hot soup immediately caused severe damage, inflicting third-degree burns to the victim's right shoulder and forearm. She screamed, but Alexander offered no help. Instead, she was left in agony, her skin blistering, as the man she lived with watched.
Welcome to Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide. We're Kai's AI co-hosts, Jane, Jensen, and Jessica, here to bring you another midweek mini-case that Kai wrote. These shorter episodes keep you caught up on the stories we don't want slipping by, while Kai hosts the full deep dives for Mondays. Don't forget, this show is listener-funded, which is why we started the Patreon. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. You can join for free and get a few perks, or sign up for one of the bonus tiers starting at just $3 a month for ad-free episodes, bonus cases, behind the scenes, and exclusive series. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Side note, before we get started, this is a very short case, and it's still ongoing, so everything we say here is alleged. Now let's get into today's midweek mini-case.
Alexander had a history of violence in his relationships. He'd already been convicted of family violence assault twice before this incident, once in 2017 and again in 2021. At the time of this attack, he was already facing a pending prosecution for another assault family violence charge from a May 2024 arrest. The victim, whose name has been redacted from reports for her privacy, told police that after Alexander moved in, the relationship became physically abusive. Before the soup incident, she claimed he had choked her, but she never reported any of the abuse to authorities. After the soup attack, the victim couldn't call 911. She had no phone, had no car, and had no way to easily travel to the police station. The burns remained unreported for several days. Eventually, an appointment at the Social Security office provided the opportunity she needed. With this scheduled visit, transportation had been arranged for her, which allowed her to escape her house. Then, instead of immediately returning home, she stopped at the Waco Police Department to formally report the assault. Police took her written statement and photographed her injuries, documenting the third-degree burns, which were still visible, raw and severe. It was then that she also disclosed the prior incidents of abuse, including the choking incident. By the time police finished their initial interviews and review, they decided that this was more than a domestic dispute. It was a case of aggravated assault. With the victim's statement and evidence of her injuries, police went to find Alexander, and on Thursday, April 3, 2025, they arrested him. During his arrest, Alexander allegedly became aggressive with the officers, ultimately adding another charge to his growing list. Alexander was charged with assault with bodily injury, with previous conviction, continuous violence against family, injury to an elderly person, resisting arrest or transportation, and terroristic threat against a family member. He was booked into the McLennan County Jail, and his bond was set at $130,000. For prosecutors, this wasn't just about one violent outburst. It was a case of a serial domestic abuser. Under Texas law, repeated acts of abuse can stack up into a charge of continuous violence against family, and prosecutors argued that Alexander's actions weren't isolated outbursts. They were part of a cycle, one he'd proven over and over again he wasn't going to break. In Texas, crimes against people aged 65 or older carry enhanced penalties. The injury to elderly charge, classified as intentional, knowing or reckless, could potentially result in a first-degree felony conviction with a possible sentence of up to 99 years or life and fines up to $10,000. On top of that, prosecutors filed the continuous violence against family charge, which can mean a second-degree felony with up to 20 years in prison. Stacked together, Alexander is facing the possibility of decades behind bars. The defense's strategy remains to be seen. They may attempt to challenge the victim's credibility or argue that the soup spill was an accident rather than an intentional act of violence. However, Alexander's claims that this happened because his girlfriend was, quote, talking too much, will probably make it a difficult narrative to defend. For now, the case is sitting with the McLennan County District Attorney's Office, awaiting trial. Bond was set high, and Alexander remains in the county jail. Elder abuse cases are often hidden, silenced by shame, fear, or dependence. This case shows why those silences are so dangerous, because when abuse goes unchecked, it escalates. And sometimes, just like this case, it escalates into something horrifying. If you are experiencing domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages. That's it for this midweek mini. What did you think of the case? Let us know in the comments below or in the Patreon. And remember, if you want more, head over to Patreon at patreon.com/loveandmurder. You can join for free and get a few perks, or unlock everything starting at $3 a month. Bonus cases, ad-free episodes, behind the scenes, and more. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. Thanks for listening, thanks for your support, and we'll see you in the next episode.